back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the new Need for Speed and pretty much the top 5 cars that I wanted to have in that game. So this is basically like the top 5 cars, like wish list that I want in Need for Speed that I think would make the game perfect. So first of all, gameplay in the background has nothing to do with the commentary. So in the background I'm going to be driving around in the Ford Sierra RS Cosworth around the Nürburgring. It's not supposed to be a fast time lap, it's not supposed to be anything crazy. I'm just driving around the track. I get a little bit sideways in some of the corners as well, so hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the video in the background while I'm talking about some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so starting off at number 1, I want a Supra in the new Need for Speed. You can't just make a street racing game and not include a Supra in it. I think a Mark IV Supra would be absolutely perfect in the game. If they haven't done it already, they need to put a Supra in the game. I think we're going to have a lot of customization. Well, I know for a fact we're going to have a ton of customization in the game. And I think the Supra would fit in just like perfectly. We need something like that, and then something that's very similar to the Supra. I love a R34 Skyline. That's my second pick. A R34 Skyline I think would be perfect. Again, if it's not in the game, I think it should be in the game. Like, you can't just think about, you know, street racing games. It doesn't matter where it is. You can't just think about street racing games and not like include the Supra or the Skyline. Those are like two iconic cars that need to be in street, and like basically they're just related to street racing, and it just needs to be in the game if they haven't already put them in. Now I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up putting like the R32 Skyline as well, or the R33, or even like a Mark II Supra, or anything, you know, just anything in the game. But like the Mark IV Supra and the R34 Skyline, I think need to be an addition to the game if they're not already like put in, obviously. Then moving on to something a little bit older, since I've seen that the Hakosuka's in the game, which is a Nissan 2000 GTR, or Skyline, wait, Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR, I just call it Hakosuka because that's just what it's called. I've realized that they have some old school stuff in the game, so that's pretty cool. Some old school JDM, and adding to that, I want them to have a Hachiroku in the game. An A86, I think, needs to be in the game. Again, it's one of the most iconic Japanese cars ever, and I don't think there is a person. I mean, there's a lot of people that that just absolutely love this car and think it's just a Japanese icon. So I think it definitely needs to be put into the game. Now, it's just sort of will fit in perfectly, especially, you know, having a rival in the game, which is like sort of like the Nissan Skyline, you know, the 2000 GTR thing. I sort of feel that that's sort of like a rival to the Hachiroku, so I sort of really want both of those in the game. You know, there's just, I just feel like there's some sort of a rivalry there, and I think they need to be both in the game. Like, since they put the 2000 GTR, which of course is one of my favorite Skylines ever made. It's actually one of my favorite like cars ever made, and I'd love to own one in real life. They're actually just as expensive as like an R34 Skyline if you want to buy it, because there's a bunch of them in Japan, but they're just like very, very expensive to buy, and of course you need to find a really good one and stuff like that. But I think the Hachiroku will definitely be a really, really good addition to the game. Now, since I want this game to sort of cater to everybody, and since there is a lot of customization in the game, I feel that this game would be perfect if they added cars from sort of different categories, right? So we have, you know, the JDM, we have like some old school cars, we have some new school cars. Of course, if they didn't have the BRZ in the game, I would have said, you know, something like the Toyota GT86 or the Super BRZ. It's stuff like that I would definitely love to see in the game, but of course they've added it in, they showed it in the trailer, stuff like that. So that's really, really good. I definitely would have said something like that if it wasn't in the trailer. But to go completely the opposite way, I love some old school US muscle. I'd absolutely love that. Maybe like a 70s Charger. Now, the reason why I chose the 70 Charger is because it's like one of my favorite muscle cars of all time. But something like a fastback Mustang or a Camaro SS, anything like old school muscle, I think would be an amazing addition to the game, because then the game would sort of, you know, fill the gaps where, you know, you'd have people that just like love US muscle, or you have people that just love imports, you have people that love you know, EU cars and stuff like that. So I definitely love to see some old school muscle into the game. I know we have already seen the RTR Mustang in the game, but that's sort of like new and stuff like that. But I'd love to see some old school muscle, something like I said, the 70s Charger, fastback Mustang, Camaro, a Cuda, anything, you know. I'd love to see stuff like that. And last but not least, I'd love to see something from the VAG, which is the Volkswagen Group. I'd love to see something from that. Any Audi RS, or even a whatever, a VW Golf Mark 6 or something like that. I don't know, anything from the Volkswagen Group, because then I think people would just end up like lowering their cars, driving really slow. I mean, the game that I want Need for Speed to be right now is not just a street racing game. I want it to like care, I want it to be for everybody, and I feel that if they add a lot of these cars that I've said in the game, or they're probably already added, but I'm just saying if we have a bunch of these cars in the game and we have a lot of customization, I think it'll be really, really fun to see what people can create. And I know that there's different sort of genres of tuning and customization and stuff like that. You obviously have stands, you have the people that just love to drive in a straight line, you have the people that love track racing, you have people that love drifting. So anything in the game that makes more people come together to play the game, I think would be amazing. And especially, I'm just thinking about, you know, going into an online lobby and just going into some sort of like a free roam or something like that, and instead of just doing races, you go around to like a car meet or something like that, and you see cars from like different periods, you see cars with different modifications. I think that would be an amazing game. That's why I love, you know, I love GTA a bunch, because people love to like lower their cars. Some people have them for like track racing and stuff like that. I know that that GTA isn't necessarily like, you know, one of those type of games where like, you know, street racing is sort of a thing, but you know, I love the way people try to make it like it is, and I feel that with the additions, or with my wish list, they would make a really good addition into the game, and I think it'll make the game a lot better. But yeah, hopefully we get some really cool stuff into the game. So far, I'm definitely impressed with Need for Speed, and I cannot wait to play it. I think it'll be an amazing game, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be bringing out a lot of content on that game. So anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video. If you have any different cars, if you guys have any sort of like more suggestions of cars that you guys want to have in a game, leave them down in the comments below. I'm definitely happy to read through the comments and see what you guys think. Now, don't just list out some of your favorite cars and then you say that you want those in the game just because they're like your favorite cars, obviously. But you know, just list some cars that would actually make sense to be put into the game. That's exactly what I did. Of course, I listed a bunch of cars that I feel that would be appropriate to be put into the game. So I want you guys to do the same thing. But that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you don't mind, leave a like if you've enjoyed the video, of course. You can leave a dislike if you dislike the video. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Goodbye.